the doctrine of the Trinity solves the one of the many problem.
Okay.
Well, is it still considered a mystery, or do you not believe in like mysteries of faith?
What are you referring to as a mystery?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what's unique to my upbringing as opposed to other forms of Christianity. But in Catholicism, that's called a mystery of faith, meaning its nature is
Are you
perennially.
Catholic?
I am not Catholic any longer. No.
What are you now?
I would have to say I am an atheist, but I have more complicated
Why?
answers.
Why? Why?
Why am I an atheist?
Yeah.
Well, nothing has moved me to believing in anything else. Although
So
I am dealing.
So the not God world is true. The not God world is true because you're unconvinced of the God world?
Well, I would say I'm also unconvinced of the not God world.
No, that's not a possibility. Okay.
Okay.
Because let me tell you why. Right. All I have to do is ask you a simple question.
Sure.
Do you possess the belief that all facts necessitate deriving from God?
I don't know.
I didn't ask you if you know. I asked you,
possessing the belief? Do you
possess the belief? Do you possess the belief that there are little green men dancing on the surface of Mars?
No, I do not.
Do you possess the belief that there's a metal tower in Paris called the Eiffel Tower? Do you possess that belief?
Yes.
Do you possess the belief that all facts by necessity derive and depend upon God? Do you possess that belief?
No, I don't.
Okay. So then you believe facts do not by necessity derive and depend upon God.
No, I do not. So I would regard that as being a sort of an open question.
Right. No, it's not an open question. You've decided that facts don't necessitate deriving from God. We're not discussing what you know. We're discussing what you believe. You believe facts are to be reckoned as not necessitating deriving from God or necessitating referencing the necessity of God. So what you're actually doing, you are not, okay, no, listen, the issue is not possibilities. You are claiming or attempting to claim that you are withholding judgment about God, but you haven't withheld judgment about God. You have decided that facts don't necessitate referencing the necessity of God. You have made a judgment about God and his relationship to facts while claiming you're withholding judgment, but you haven't withheld judgment.
Okay. Is it
saying I don't know in the form of agnosticism is a smokescreen. It doesn't hold up to scrutiny. If you say, I make no declaration about ultimate reality, well, you have in fact made a declaration about ultimate reality by saying you can get along fine talking about facts without the necessity of invoking ultimate reality. So claiming not to make a judgment about ultimate reality is in fact to make a statement about ultimate reality while denying you're making a statement about ultimate reality.
But what if I concede that?
Did you ever see Back to the Future 3? Yeah, hold on a second. You ever see Back to the Future 3? Yeah, you can in a moment. Did you ever see Back to the Future 3?
There's one Back to the Future that I never saw. Is that the Old West one?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen the Old West one. I didn't see the middle one.
Okay, you remember when they hijacked the train?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he holds the gun up to the conductor, and the conductor says, "Is this a holdup?" And Doc pauses for a second, and he says, "It's a science experiment."
Okay.
Okay. No, it was a holdup. They were stealing the train in order to get back to the future. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
It wasn't a science experiment. Okay.
Well,
Now,
it was both technically, right? Because that's how they got to the.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't an experiment because they've already experimented, and now it was simply an exercise of a regularity that they had established. So he wasn't experimenting. He just knew he had to get the car up to 88 miles an hour. The bottom line is when he says it's a science experiment, it really wasn't a science experiment. Now, it was a funny line. Now, the point is this, is when people deny God, they don't want to admit it. They want to insulate themselves from having to defend their God denialism. So they hide behind an invisible garment of claiming, oh, well, I'm withholding judgment. But when I ask you, do you believe that facts necessitate deriving from God? You say, no, I don't believe that. You've made a judgment about God, that God's not necessary to invoke vis-a-vis the relationship with facts. So you have made a judgment about God.
What would the position be if I was ignorant of the truth of that statement?
Ignorant of what?
Of the truth of what you're claiming.
No, then when you say ignorant, then all you're just simply doing is in a roundabout way, you're just saying, well, what if I'm agnostic? But agnosticism is claiming, okay, do you know what the definition of agnosticism is?
To me, agnosticism is the epistemological question of whether or not it's possible to know. So someone could be a Gnostic.
No, that's not how that's not how T.H. Huxley defined it. It's one he neither knows nor believes. It incorporates knowledge and belief. It's a claim to withhold knowledge or belief. It doesn't just refer to knowledge.
Yeah. Well,
would you like me to read to you what T.H. Huxley said?
That's fine if you do, but you were asking me what I think.
He's the inventor of the term. So, I guess somebody who invented the term has something to say about that. Okay, Thomas Huxley coined the term agnostic in 1869 and says it simply means that a man shall not say that he knows or believes that for which he has no grounds for professing to know or to believe.
Okay.
So here's the bottom line. You're claiming, oh, I'm withholding judgment about God. You call yourself an atheist, but that your atheism means that you're withholding judgment as to the existence or non-existence of God. Well, is there a word in the English language? Is there one word in the English language which designates the denial of the existence of God? Does such a word exist?
There does. However, I asked a different question.
What is that word? What is that word?
Atheist. But that is...
okay. So atheism is both the denial and not the denial of God.
No.
So which is it? Is atheism the denial of God or not the denial of God?
So to me, what it's always meant was... So
no, I don't want to... I'm not asking you what it means to you. I'm asking you, how is it used in standard English?
I can only provide my best understanding of these terms.
Okay, well, we're not using your proprietary definitions here. In the English-speaking world, if we polled 50 million people and we said, what is the single word in the English language which designates someone who denies the existence of God or gods? What one word would we call that person who outright denies it? What would the 50 million people say? What word would they pick?
Sure, atheist.
Right. Okay. So you're taking a word that has widespread usage, that means the denial of God, but now you're saying, well, I'm that word, but it means not the denial of God. So does atheism mean not the denial of God?
It can, but it's to me.
In other words, it cannot mean the denial. Then can you explain to me?
Hey, Darth, in
other words, now if atheism means not the denial of God, it becomes indistinguishable from agnosticism. Why not call yourself an agnostic?
Well, Darth, let me
Can
try
you
to
answer
lay
that?
out. Let me try
Why
to.
not call yourself an agnostic?
I am an agnostic.
Oh, okay, but you told me you weren't. But you told me you were an atheist.
So, Darth, could I start off with a concession that I might have these terms wrong, but I could explain what my position is, and maybe you could correct my vocabulary.
Okay, so is your position you're withholding judgment about God?
Withholding judgment about God. I mean,
you're neither affirming nor denying the existence of God. You are withholding judgment about the existence of God.
I'm not sure.
Darth, can I ask a few questions?
Hold on.
No, hold on. This is not a difficult question.
So it actually, I find it an incredibly difficult question, but
no, it is not a difficult question because if you're being honest, it's not a difficult question. Are you withholding judgment about God?
Withholding judgment about God.
Right. You neither affirm nor deny God in any sense.
No, I say that that's not true.
Okay. It's not clear to me what your answer is. Is it true? Is it true you are withholding judgment about the existence and non-existence of God?
I'm happy to take whatever label you assign.
And I'm happy to remove you from the room. Get lost. Next. Yeah, see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you're dealing with people who are dishonest. Okay? They simply don't want to be dishonest. They want to play word games. Okay? And I think it's disgusting.
I had some questions about